So in continuation of the file system, operations performed on directory. So we are aware that each operating system have different file system and how the operating system is going to manage all the files, folders, and how they are creating the number of directories. So directory may contain a number of structure. So whether it's a tree structure or maybe a non-tree structure. So later on, we will also discuss about the tree structure and non-tree structure of the file systems managed by the operating system. So these are the different number of operations performed on directory. So search for a file, if we are going to search a file name, okay, we have already created during the storage of the file on the secondary storage. And if we are going to search, then we can search by the name of the file, or sometimes if we are unable to save the file by some name, then we can use also the documents on the basis of the date modified. So if there is no saving of file by name, then we can also check by the contents of the file, or sometimes by the date modified or the date, okay, on which we have created, so that easily we can search the file. So this is one of the operations performed on the directory. So create a file, we can create a file, okay, develop a file, delete a file. Suppose sometimes we want to delete, we don't want to a particular name, okay, and we want to remove all the contents permanently, or we can send to the recycle bin to a particular file, and as per need we can also retrieve the data information in the form of the files from the recycle bin. Or sometimes if we are going to delete permanently, then we can use also the commands to delete the file permanently. So list a directory, we must aware by the name of the directory, okay. So we can form a list for a directory, and how we are going to list a directory, this is already programmed in the operating system, so that OS can manage all that things, okay, whether it is a file or the folder or the directory for which we are going to manage all these things. Suppose we want to change the name of the file, okay, rename a file, or traverse the file system. So in the directory, whenever we are going to create a directory, then for the search system, we can traverse the file system. So if there are a number of files, okay, then during the search, we can traverse all those files and then match the name of the file for which we are going to search, okay. So the operating system will traverse all those files, okay, and then can search, and where the search finished, then we can detect that file. So these are the different number of operations: search for a file, create a file, delete a file, rename a file, traverse the file system, and list a directories. So these are called the basic operations performed on directory. So these are the operations which we can perform on the directory, or these are the operations performed by the operating system. Okay. So how we are going to organize the directory? So the directory is organized logically to obtain efficiency. Okay, because we want to maintain the efficiency, and also the naming system which will be convenient for the users, because we can select the new name for the file whenever we are going to create a file, or sometimes if it is not good, or we can say it is complex, then we can rename the file, we can change, okay, as per the requirement, or we can easily remember, so that we can choose such type of name so that we can recall easily. Okay, so we choose the naming system that will be convenient to users. Okay, and why the operating system is going to organize the directory? Because the operating system want to save the overall timing. Okay, overall timing means if you have the nomenclature or some sort of structure for the directory, then whenever we are going to search any file or the folder, then in that case, if the operating system is sending the signal and searching any file, so the operating system must take the little bit timings. Okay, the time must be very, very less. Okay, so the directory is organized in such a manner. Okay, so that the efficiency of the system will enhance. So locating a file quickly, so that we can locate the file, or we can say the operating system can easily locate a file. If the operating system easily locate a file, then of course the efficiency will be enhanced. Okay, the overall timings will be less. Okay, or otherwise in searching it will take, if it will take more time, then we cannot say the efficiency may be good. So what is the effect of the naming system? We choose the naming system that must be convenient to users. So two users can have the same name for different files. So if there are two users, then can have the same name, but for different files. Okay, the file system must be different. Here we are talking about the directory organization, so that you can choose the same file name if you are going to organize the directory. Okay, so two users can have, so if they have different directory, then the two users can have the same name for different files. So the same file can have several different names. The same file can have the several different names, but under not a under a single directory, but under the different directories, because there must be some path. Okay, if you are going to search a particular file or the folder, so the path name must be different. Okay, and these all exist under the different directories. So because we can going to traverse all those directories and then checking what type of files are residing in a, or we can say under the directories. So grouping or logical grouping of files by properties, for example, all Java programs. Now there is also facility under the directories that we can do the grouping. Okay, so that operating system will differentiate among the programs, whether it belongs to Java, whether these are the gaming programs, or we can say the C++ programs, or some other related to the compilers. Okay, so in this case, the directory organization form a number of groups. Okay, so that if we want to enhance the efficiency, then grouping is must. Okay, and also the naming must be there. Otherwise, to search a file, it will take more time. Okay. So the single label directory. Okay. So here we can see a single directory for all users. Now here we have the single directory. Okay, and these are the different files under the single directory. So this is the directory, and there are number of files you can see. So a single directory for all users. Now for the file here, you can say this is a first user, second user, third user, and so on. Okay, so a single directory for all users. Now here naming problem or grouping problem. So whenever if we are using the single label directory or a single directory for all users, then the problem may be these are called the naming problem or the grouping problem. Now there is also two label directory here. You can see so separate directory for each user. So here single directory is dedicated for a for each user. Okay, now you can see. So this is called the master file directory. So in case of the master file directory, we have user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, and so on. Okay. Now under this user, it has user file directory. Okay. Similarly, user 2, again user file directory. User 3, this is again user file directory. User 4, again user file directory. So there are several user file directories. Okay. But this is called the master file directory. Now master file directory managing the user file directory here. And these are the different files, or we can say the number of users. Here separate directory for each user. Now these are the users and have separate here user file directory. Now this is easy. Okay. So in this case, we must have the path name. Okay. Can have the same file name for different user. Now in this case, for user 1, 2, 3, 4, there may be here same file name for different user. Now here we can pick the same file name for different number of users. Why? Because here there is the existence of the master file directory. Efficient searching. So in this case, in case of the two label directory, there is a efficient searching. So the searching time here very less. Okay, so that's why it is called the efficient searching. So whenever we are using the two label directory, then the searching is efficient, no grouping capability. But in this case here you can see no grouping capability. Okay, here we cannot form the number of groups. Okay, because in this case there is a master file directory and user file directory. There are two things other. Okay, here two things are different. So no grouping capability, so it has no grouping capability. Now the directory structure, here you can see first is called the tree structured directories. So tree structure, why is it called the tree structure? This is the root node. Okay, so this is the root node, that is the spell bin program. So it is divided here. So this is called the root node, and after that it is divided, subdivided into these again, that is called the children. Okay, and these are the files dedicated to these user directories. Okay, now you can call this is the here master file directory. This is this can be act as a master file, and then here you have already seen in this case user file directory. So all these here acts as a user file directories. Now again this is divided here. This will again acts as a user file directories, and here at the end you can see these are again these file system again called the children. Okay, so in this fashion, if the directories are divided, that is in the form of the root node is subdivided into children, and again you can see This again have the children, again these have children, and these are again at the end. So this file system is called the tree structured directory because it is growing from root to children here. Okay, so these are called the tree structured directories. So this is divided in this form. Now tree structured directories here we use why? Because there is a efficient searching. So searching is easy because tree structure we always use for the searching purpose, and we have already aware that if we will use the tree structure directories, then the grouping capability is better. Okay, and there is also efficient searching. Now in this case, tree structure directories, here we use current directory. Okay, current directory means working directory. So which is the working directory? Now here you can write the command cd /spell /mail /pro. Program means, okay. So cd here, just you are going to write this command. Okay, means here you are going to divide this spell. Okay, and then here paths if you are going to choose, then here you can see spell, mail, frog, like this. Now in this case, you can see here spell, mail, okay. And again, you can see here frog, okay. So we can choose the path like this, okay. So in this fashion, you are going to manage the directories in the form of the tree structure. So CD, what is this CD? Just we are going to change the directory. CD is change directory /spell /mail /frog. Okay. So how we are proceeding? Okay. How the operating system is choosing the path. So this is called the real path. Okay. Now here, just by writing this command, we can change the directory. Okay. If we want to change the directory, then easily we can write here command. Now type list, another command. If we will write here, if we are using the DOS disk operating system, then that is the command based. And if we are going to write the command type list, then it will give you the complete list. Okay, complete list of the directory, so that we can found also the tree structure of the directories. So earlier we were using the disk operating system, and then can just by writing few commands we can check the structure of the directories. So we adopt the tree structured directories because here efficient searching, grouping capability, current directory, okay, working directory. If we will choose this, then we can work on the current directory and we can form the groups. Okay, with the help of the groups, the capability or the speed will enhance and efficient searching, so that we can also search easily any item out of a number of items available in the secondary storage. So here again, tree structure directories. Now absolute or relative path name. So here we can choose absolute or relative path name. What is the path name? Here, as you have seen in the preceding slide, how the operating system is going to choose the path name. Okay, so the operating system will start from the root node, and then if we are going to find or search a particular file name, then we can easily search with the help of the path name. If you will write directly the command based on the path name, then you can get the particular file. So creating a new file is done in a current directory. Suppose if we are going to create the new file, okay, in a current directory. So suppose if we are working on a on a directory that is called the current directory. Then we can create a new file. Delete a file. Then here you can see delete a file means RM. Okay, RM file name. Just we can write this command RM file name, whatever you are going to choose, RM gap, okay, space here, and then file name. So if you will write this, then we can delete a file. RM means just you are going to remove a file name, means you are going to delete a file name from a directory. Okay, so a directory contains a number of files or a group of files, so that you can choose or delete a particular file and then write this command. So creating a new subdirectory is done in a current directory. So then mkdir directory name, here what you are doing, creating a new subdirectory. Okay, directory means root node, and then under the directory there is a subdirectories. Okay, means children subdirectories. Then you are going to create the new subdirectory. Just write the command here mkdir means map directory. Mk is here, just you are going to create a new subdirectory. Then we will write the command, we will use the command here mkdir space directory name here. Okay, so what is the directory name means the current directory name. Okay, because under the current directory name you are going to create the new subdirectory. Okay, then we will write mkdir space dir name. Okay, so if in current directory slash mail, so mkdir we can choose the directory name here count. Okay, so this is the main directory name, and now this is the position here. If in current directory, here current directory slash mail. Okay, so under this we have proc copy prt exp count. So there are number of files how we are going to choose, but here we are going to create the new subdirectory. Then what will be the condition here, so that we can write in such a way. Okay, so this is the command, and this is the main directory count. Deleting mail, deleting the entire subtree routed by mail. So here you can see this is mail, mail here it is the subtree. Okay, here deleting the entire subtree. If we want to remove or delete the entire this, then we have to remove this mail. Okay, then we can write like here remove the directory. So we can also remove this subdirectory. Okay, then we have to write the command again on the DOS disk operating system. Okay, and we can remove the entire current directory or the subdirectory. So another session here, unlike the tree structured directories, there is also a cyclic graph directories. Okay, so have shared subdirectories and files. Now how we are going to form the directories, okay, in the acyclic graph fashion. Okay, so this is again in this case, in case of the graph we have the root node. Okay, so this is the root, here it is divided into here, this is, these are the different names here we are using. Okay, and again it is divided into several other subdirectories. Here again it is the subdirectories. So this is again divided into subdirectories here, and these are the different files. So these subdirectories may also contain some files here. These are the files, and this is the shared file or shared subdirectories, because these are the subdirectories here. Okay, directories or subdirectories are nothing but the a portion of the memory, okay, which your file system is going to allocate. Okay, and these are the various methods in which the operating system, okay, managing all those directories, whether in the form of the cyclic graph or in the form of the tree structure. Okay, it is up to the operating system, and operating system will adopt the way in which the efficiency will improve. Okay, and the searching time for a particular file must be as less as possible. Okay, so the operating system may adopt the acyclic graph directory system or the tree structured directory system. Okay, so in this case, you can see shared subdirectories and files. Here, there is a sharing system of subdirectories because this is the main directory and these are the subdirectories. Okay, so the subdirectories here sharing the files. Okay, so this is the file, this is the common file which is shared by both the directories here. Okay, so similarly in this case also sharing of subdirectories. So this is the directory, and again you are going to share these files. The subdirectory are sharing the files here, and this is the common file which is shared by two subdirectories. So in case of the acyclic graph directory system, we can share the subdirectories as well as we can share the files. So here two different names we can use. If dict deletes list dangling pointer, what is the solution? Here we can use the pointers, okay, back pointers, so we can delete all pointers. Variable size records a problem. Back pointers using a daisy chain organization. Entry hold count solution. New directory entry type link or resolve the link. So here in case of the acyclic graph directories, we use the pointer system. Okay, now this is another way that the operating system may manage the directories like the tree structure or the acyclic graph. So this is third one is the general graph directory. Okay, so this is again based on the some graph system, and here we use the graph theory. Again you can see here this is the root node, and this is the main directory, and again these are the subdirectories, and subdirectories here sharing the subdirectories. Okay, just we are going to share these subdirectories. Now in this case you can check this. Okay, now general graph directory here, how do we guarantee no cycles? Allow only links to file, not subdirectories. Here we have the links with the file but not with the subdirectories. Here garbage collection. Okay, every time a new link is added, use a cycle detection algorithm to determine whether it is okay or not. So here we can use the cycle detection algorithm. Now file system mounting. Here a file system must be mounted before it can be accessed. Here an unmounted file system is mounted at a mount point. Now we can check here what is the file system. Now you are going to search for this file. Okay, then you have to start from here, which is the main directory, and rest of these are called the subdirectories, and this is the main file. Okay, then how the operating system is going to search for a file system? So the work will proceed from the root node and try to search the end file here. So how the main directory is going to divide or subdivided into number of subdirectories, and at the end the file system. Okay, so in this way it is divided so that we can easily, or we can say the operating system can easily search the end file. Okay, so these are the various structure so that the operating system can easily manage or search their particular file. Now this is the mount point here. Suppose what is the mount point? Suppose if you are going to add a new file, okay, to the system, then how it will take place, okay, or sometimes if you want to delete the file, okay, so operating system must have some directory management system. So whether it may be a tree structure or a cyclic graph structure or simple, or we can say the general graph structure, okay, then we can check how the new file is going to mount, or we can say unmount. Unmount means just you are going to delete a particular file or the subdirectory, or mount point means just you are going to add a new file, okay, or the subdirectory. Then how it will take place or how the path will change here. Now another system which we use, that is called the file sharing, and you have already idea about the sharing of files. So sharing of files on multi-user systems is desirable. Okay, mostly we use on the multi-user system, and how the files are sharing. Okay, if there are number of we can say the systems are connected, so from one system to another we can share the files. Now here nowadays we are using, due to the upgradation of the technology, now the sharing of files or accessing the files is very easy. Okay, so sharing may be done through the protection scheme. So whenever we are going to share a file, we always provide some protection system or the protection scheme. Okay, because we do not want to share the contents with other persons, okay, to whom we are transferring or sharing our file, only that person can see the data or information, okay, or sometimes we can also change the contents, okay, of the file, so that at the end that will again translate in the readable manner. Okay, or we can say we can use the various protection system or protection scheme. So on distributed system, files may be shared across a network. So if we are using the distributed system, then the files may be shared across a network. So we use some network file system. So network file system, that is called the NFS, is a common distributed file sharing method. So this is called the NFS, is a network file system. Okay, network file system is a common distributed file sharing method. So this is one of the file sharing method. If multi-user system, then we use user ID. Okay, identify users, allowing permission and protection to be per user, or we can use the group ID. Okay, if there are number of groups are working on the multi-user system, then for the protection system, we can either use the user IDs or group IDs. Okay, so owner of a file, or this is called the directory, or group of a file, or maybe directory. Okay, then during the file sharing we use always some protection scheme, okay, to provide the security to the data. So file sharing, remote file system. So remote file system, we always use some networking file system, okay, so manually via program like FTP, file transfer protocol we are using. Okay, so manually via programs like FTP, automatically seamlessly using distributed file system, semi-automatically via World Wide Web. We are using World Wide Web. Okay, then how we are sending the files from one system to another, to one user to another, whether he is available at another end, and we use sometimes client server model. Okay, to share the files, to mount remote file system from servers. Okay, server can serve multiple clients. Now we can see here there are file system, whatever we are using, that is called the NFS, network file system. Another is called the CIFS, common internet file system. Okay, we are using nowadays. So is standard Unix client server file sharing protocol. This is NFS, network file system. So this is a standard of the Unix client server. Okay, and CIFS, that is called the common internet file system. So is a standard Windows protocol. So if your system is based on the Windows protocol, then we can use the CIFS, common internet file system. Okay, so standard operating system file calls are translated into remote calls. So there are two types of file system you have already seen here, NFS and CIFS, network file system and common internet file system. Now file sharing failure modes. When the failure occurs, now you can see here corruption of directory structure or other non-user data called metadata. Okay, remote file system add new failure modes due to network failure. So the cause may be different. Number of here reasons you can see how the file sharing, or we can check the different number of modes for the failure. Okay, so here you can see then how the we can do the recovery. Okay, or we can say how the system will do the recovery from failure can involve state information about the status of each remote request. Okay, so there are other ways to recover all type of data. Now I am taking your attendance now. So this is the last one here. File sharing, consistency, and semantics. Now specify how multiple users are to access a shared file simultaneously. So there is a common file, and that common file here shared by a number of, or we can say multiple users. Okay. So another new name for the file system is called the Andrew file system, AFS, implemented complex remote file sharing semantics. So this is the new name of the file system that is given by here the Andrew, and he gave a new name Andrew file system. Okay, like the NFS and CIFS. Okay, and this is the file system based on his own name, Andrew file system. Okay, implemented complex remote file sharing. If we are using the mode remote, okay, we are sharing the file remotely. And this is Unix file system. UFS implements write to an open file visible immediately to other users of the same open file, so that at the same instant we can open and see, okay, the file system. Sharing file pointer to allow multiple users to read and write concurrently, so that we can check and edit all those files with the help of the file pointer system. Okay, AFS has session semantics. Writes only visible to sessions starting after the